Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and while I'm doing this video, I am watching crazy Senator Warren talking to Federal Reserve Chairman Powell. She's a real whack job. I bet it's lonely being one of the only communists left standing when the good guys have taken over. All right, check it out. The market is pretty flat. I mean, everything's just kind of sitting tight right now. But for me, these are my buying opportunities. I bought some gold this morning, but I intend to buy more XRP. I was just kind of watching to see if this thing was going to go down a little bit. That's when I buy. When you see this fear and greed right here, and it's below 50 and starts going over here with all the things that crypto has ahead of it that are positive. See, the markets are impatient. These markets, all the people watching these markets, they're like, oh, there's just nothing going on right now. And it makes them start to get fearful, but they're not looking at the big picture. I'm always looking at the big picture. The big picture is what got me here. This is just a few of the things that are big picture. In the next 1 to 3 months, we should see SEC case being dropped. Yes, I think that'll happen. Some form of resolution. XRP ETF approvals coming in. Yep, think that's going to happen. Increased comfort amongst institutional lending to leading to further adoption. I believe this part, you'll see the first wave with the stablecoin legislation in the next couple of months. And then the infrastructure bill, which will come later in the year, I believe, then you'll really see them come in. But the stable coins is going to bring all kinds of liquidity into this from the institutions. Rumored XRP strategic reserve, I think that's highly likely. Shift from Bitcoin to XRP, now you're getting over the target here. Alt season, in the next 3 to 9 months, that was his 1 to 3 months. In the next 3 to 9 months, we should see increased pressure on Ripple IPO. I think you'll really start to see that once the case is resolved. USA becoming crypto capital of the world. That's where we're headed. Bitcoin's dominance decreases, no question about that. Let's talk about that a little further. First, listen to this Bitcoin child and what he has to say.
Why should we believe that this technology is going to stick around? Why can't there be something better that emerges than Bitcoin?
What Satoshi did, he created an engineering solution in an open source manner, airdropped it and left and never took any coins for himself. And really, there's no one that can fundamentally change the protocol. You can spin off a new iteration of Bitcoin. If you think of Dogecoin or Litecoin, these are just Bitcoin forks. And really, when you look at digital networks, it's a winner-take-all dynamic. The reason that financial intermediate...
Yeah, if you think it's well, first of all, I don't agree with that. I think there's going to be a handful of digital assets that survive, maybe 20 or so, could be 50, I don't know, but it's going to be utility tokens that rule the day in the end of this thing.
MasterCard, Visa, the banking network, Swift network. The reason that you need third parties is because there was no way to transfer value across the internet without a trusted intermediary. What Bitcoin did, solving the double spend problem and combining proof of work and the difficulty adjustment, it combined the physical and the digital world. If you want to produce a Bitcoin, you either have to acquire it or expend a whole lot of energy to make one. That marginal production cost of a single Bitcoin is going up forever in a programmatic way as hash rate goes up and to the right. And guess what? Hash rate's at all-time highs. Well, why is it harder to produce than ever before? And what's that future trend look like? And that's only up in...
Okay, now that you've heard that pap, listen to what John McAfee said back in the day.
In terms of cryptocurrencies, who were the beneficiaries?
When you listen to this, just think to yourself, okay, so you got this Bitcoin thing, and all it is a store of value. They abandoned the payment thing from the white paper because it can't do payments the way they would need to be done. It's ultimately a prototype, a pilot program. But the real technologies have to be able to do something to these are the ones where the real liquidity is going to come. It's just a matter of time. And I put in here, this is why you're seeing them talk, these Bitcoin guys, they're screaming about how they only want Bitcoin in the strategic reserve. It's literally a Bitcoin bailout because they know that utility is coming, and utility is what will send altcoins past Bitcoin. If you understand utility and the liquidity that would come with it, it's impossible for altcoins to not pass Bitcoin if they have real utility. It's just a matter of time. And when that happens, that's the death blow. When Bitcoin becomes an altcoin, it's the death blow. That's why these Bitcoin maxis, they've had the regulatory monopoly, but they know that if they don't have something that's government given that other digital assets don't have, they can't maintain the monopoly. That's why they're freaking out. They should freak out.
In terms of cryptocurrencies, who are the beneficiaries? It's not Bitcoin. It's certainly not Bitcoin. It's an old technology. It's got no privacy whatsoever. You can't put smart contracts on it. It uses a blockchain without smart contracts to give it growth and give it potential. You can't put distributed apps on it. I mean, yes, it opened the door to a fertile field in which has been planted technologies that were never dreamed of before. Privacy coins, decentralized exchanges, stable coins. They are probably the most beneficial thing that just popped out of cryptocurrency. Before them, if the market was unstable, I've got to get out. Once you get out into a currency, no more. Just trade those for DAI, please. Like DAI never varies more than 1%.
DAI is a stable coin. It's not this DAI.
On the US dollar. You don't like the US dollar? Get a coin based on the euro. You don't like the euro? Get a coin based on a basket of things. They're all stable and do not vary. As the market goes up and down, they stay the same and have for over a year. So stable coins.
Everything he said makes sense. I believe this is the crypto endgame. Blockchain Media put this out. When all is clear, there will only be utility coins. They may allow Bitcoin to survive, but I think Bitcoin's got a real problem ahead of it. It's called utility. And this is a pretty good list too. They've got XDC on here, Hedera Hashgraph, Stellar, XRP, Cardano, Algorand, and several others, Sologenic, Corium. It's going to be it's going to be fun watching this all unfold. Brad Combs from Digital Perspectives put this out. By the way, before I read this, remember, XRPLasVegas.com, this thing, I talked to Brad earlier today about the numbers of people coming to this, and I'm telling you, I said it a long time ago, it's going to be into the thousands. The record is being blown to bits every single day with ticket sales on XRP Las Vegas. And don't forget, and there's a link to it in the description of this video. And don't forget, right now you can get discounted tickets, and you can get discounted MGM Grand tickets or hotel room. And also, Bitcoin Las Vegas is going to be in the 3 days before XRP Las Vegas. So it is going to be wild at Bitcoin Las Vegas. And at XRP Las Vegas and Bitcoin Las Vegas, that'll be wild too. Breaking: XRP DRs create the help. Remember what Kendra Hill said, who disappeared off social media? That what Ripple always wanted to do was to own the derivatives market. That's what. And when you hear DTCC, you hear derivatives. They settle $2 quadrillion every year. Lock in is what he says. XRP DRs are RDC's latest expansion to provide depository, trust, and clearing corporation DTCC eligible securities that offer ownership of digital and alternative assets. RDC's leadership team brings extensive experience in depository receipts and institutional market structure, having spent decades working with issuers and investors to evolve DR-based financial products at a leading global bank. Here it is. Receipts Depository Corporation launches XRP Depository Receipt. Folks, you couldn't make this stuff up if you tried. And then here's a tweet. Receipts Depository Corporation today announced the launch of XRP Depository Receipt. I mean, golly, folks, it's going to be wild. And then you got this, Cody Carbone. We submitted, he's from the Digital Chamber, we submitted our 2025 priorities to the SEC, and seeking stays for ongoing litigation cases was day one priority now accomplished. Now, and look at this. This is their day one priority. Critical. Seek stays for ongoing litigation cases that do not involve actual fraud, investor loss, or risk of imminent harm, allowing time to finalize the Commission's approach. What case summarizes that better than any? That would be the SEC versus Ripple case. So I asked Cody Carbone, let me hit the old refresh button. Maybe he responded. You never know. When Ripple case stay? Cody? He has not responded. I'm sure he wouldn't be. I'm sure he wouldn't be allowed to say, even if he knew. All right. Then we have this. Jerome Powell in front of Senator Cynthia Lummis today.
Just look at the mess the Fed made of Silicon Valley Bank. And I contend that there is a lack of understanding that is deliberate on the part of the Fed with respect to digital asset policy. So the Constitution says Congress is your boss, but somehow your staff have not gotten that message. So, Chairman Powell, do you commit on behalf of yourself and the Federal Reserve staff to comply fully with all document demands issued by this committee in a timely manner?
Sure.
Will you instruct your staff to be complete in their responses and not to obstruct the oversight functions of this committee?
You know, we always work with the committee to be responsive to your requests. Sometimes they're beyond our capacity to respond to, and we work with committee and with committee staff to do that. But we're always responsive to committee requests.
And I'll look forward to engaging with you when you feel that our requests are outside of the scope of the oversight that we have over the Fed. Do you commit to disciplining or removing any staff that are found to have engaged in debanking activity, furthering Operation Choke Point 2.0, or other misconduct?
I can't make an open-ended commitment to remove anybody, but I will tell you that I am struck, and my colleagues and I are struck by the growing number of cases of what appears to be debanking, and we're determined to take a fresh look at that. In fact, I took the thing that you showed during the debanking hearing. When I saw that, we're now taking that out of the manual. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My time.
All righty, things are a-changing. And I told Elon Musk, look, you think that that whole, what do they call it? Is it USAID, all the controversies, and Elon Musk talking about auditing the Federal Reserve, auditing the Pentagon, all this stuff. Well, let me tell you what, for somebody who's been here for all these years in crypto, these same bad guys that have been doing money laundering and stealing money and creating all these fake organizations to funnel money into their coffers and their pocketbooks, it was done with crypto. And I've always believed that FTX was a part of it. Tether just happened to be located in the same place in the Bahamas as FTX. I'll never forget that BitBoy video where he went down there to talk to Sam Bankman-Fried during all that. And then he stopped by Deltec Bank, which was right there down the street. There are no coincidences, folks. It's also not a coincidence. Gary Gensler never went after FTX until after the fraud was exposed. He never went after Tether. It all adds up, folks. It's very obvious what these things were being used for. I mean, it's not hard to figure out. Remember, FTX was giving money to Ukraine. We believe that money was coming back around. Look no further than the FTX organizational chart. I need to tweet that to Elon Musk because that's where all the bodies are buried. There's a reason that Sam Bankman-Fried's mother and father, and his father, I'm convinced, created that org chart. There's a reason they've never looked into that. If you remember, when Sam Bankman-Fried was on trial, they set aside the Democrat donations and all the stuff, that part of it, they just moved that to the side. That's what needs to be looked into. Okay, in DAIXRP.com, here's what we're going to do. There's something wild that's going to happen in 10 days, and I'm going to show you what that is. And I'm also going to go, there's other things, but I'm also going to go over, there's an update, that token that I told you in DAIXRP.com that I think is going to be a big one. There's an update on that too, and I'll go over that. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family away.